Hello, this is Stephen Wright, and this is a current time check-in here since starting my YouTube channel. This is Wednesday, the 12th of April, 2023, and I'm just checking in here. I hope you have been enjoying the videos from the archives, the videos that I started recording on Facebook Live on March 18 of 2020. And I'm just going through that list. But today I'm checking in current time, kind of connecting where we started out here, the very first video that I posted. And I read Genesis chapter 1, which we'll go and refer to again here in just a bit. But we're going to be calling these check-ins here, which I'll start doing now this Wednesday, and then each Wednesday, that's the plan, do a check-in here like we're doing. But we're going to call these Confronting the Falsehood of Race, and race in quotations, all right? This YouTube channel is about speaking God's truth to Satan's power. Satan is a liar. He is the father of lies. That is his natural language. And so when we speak God's truth, we are speaking God's word to Satan's lies. So speaking God's truth to Satan's power. All of the conflicts that we come up with between us as human beings, they are a result of Satan's lies. There is truth. There is God's truth. This is what we are asserting. So this is what we're going to call this. Confronting the Falsehood of Race, part 1. All right? Now, here's the question. Can a Chihuahua help us do that? I'm going to try to put something in the notes about this video that has to do with this Chihuahua. I'm starting into an outline of study here that I have used in a couple of different places, a couple of different times. And the heading here on this outline of study is Understanding the Word Kind in Genesis 1 and answering the age-old question, were there Chihuahuas on the ark? All right, and speaking then to the word kind, let me go to the Genesis 1 text and read again a section here. Start in verse 20. And God said, let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the heavens. So God created the great sea creatures and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarm, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures according to their kinds, livestock and creeping things, and beasts of the earth according to their kinds. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth according to their kinds, and the livestock according to their kinds, and everything that creeps on the ground according to its kind. And God saw that it was good. All right. So the word kind in the biblical text. Understanding the word kind in Genesis 1 and answering the age-old question, were there Chihuahuas on the ark, or the way we've styled it here, can a Chihuahua help us understand that the concept of race is a false concept? Can the Chihuahua help us understand that? Now here is this outline, and you see I have a bunch of pictures of different kinds of dogs here. And did you hear how I just did that? I just let it slip. Different varieties of dogs here. All right. I just went against my point when I did that. But that illustrates how indoctrinated we are. All right. Varieties of dogs here. All right. What are kinds in Genesis? Often people are confused thinking that a species is a kind, but this isn't necessarily the case. Have you ever heard of a zonkey? Have you ever heard of a liger? Have you ever heard of a wolfen? These strange sounding animals, a zonkey, a zorse, well, you can see them. In fact, we had, the Manhattan. I live in Topeka. Manhattan is west of us, and the university is over there, where they have a very good agriculture program, a veterinary program there, animal science. Recently, for the school herd, they purchased some donkeys. They got a female donkey, and lo and behold, she gave birth to a zonkey. The father of that baby that she gave birth to, that foal, was a zebra. There's zonkies, there's zorses. You can see these at different, the Creation Museum Petting Zoo has them. But what are these animals, and how did they come to be? Are they a new species? Well, the first thing that needs to be addressed here is what is a kind, biblical definition of kind. Often people are confused into thinking that a species is a kind, but this isn't necessarily the case. Species is, the way it is now today, this is a man-made term used in the modern classification system. And frankly, the word species is rather difficult to define, whether you are a creationist or not. We will say more about this word and its definition and its relationship to the biblical word kind or kinds a little bit later, but we're just introducing this here in this video. The Bible uses the term kind. The Bible's first use of this word in the Hebrew min is in Genesis 1, like we just read, when God creates the plants and the animals, and he says they are made according to their kinds. It's used again in Genesis chapter 6 and in Genesis chapter 8 when God instructs Noah to take 2 of every kind of land-dwelling, air-breathing animal into the ark, and also in God's command for the animals to reproduce after the flood. Now, when you read that text, you actually see that you have 14 when we look at certain categories, that is 7 pairs of certain kinds, but that's another part of a discussion for another time. But a plain reading of the text infers that plants and animals were created to reproduce within the boundaries of their kinds. Evidence to support this concept is clearly seen, or rather not seen, in our world today. For instance, there's no reports of dats, a dog and a cat, producing offspring, or a how, a horse and a cow. So a good rule of thumb is that if 2 things can breed together, then they are of the same created kind. It's a bit more complicated than this, but for the time being, this is a quick measure of kind. As an example, dogs, all types of dogs, can easily interbreed with one another, whether we're talking about a wolf, a dingo, a coyote, or a domestic dog. When dogs breed together, you get dogs. So there is a dog kind. It works the same with chickens. There are several breeds of chickens, but when chickens breed with each other, you still get chickens. So there is a chicken kind. That is the broken down basic concept, and it's pretty easy to understand. But in today's culture, where evolution and millions of years are taught as a fact, many people have been led to believe that animals and plants that are classed as a specific species have been like this for tens of thousands of and perhaps millions of years. So when they see things like lions or zebras, they think that they have been like this for an extremely long time. From a biblical perspective, though, land animals like wolves, zebras, sheep, lions, and so on have at least two ancestors that lived on Noah's Ark, and that's only about 4,300 years ago. Now, these animals have undergone many changes since that time, but dogs are still part of dog kind, and cats are still part of cat kind, and so on. God placed variety within the original kinds, and the other variation has occurred since the fall due to genetic variations. Let's speak just a little bit about variety within a kind. Creation scientists use the word beramin or beramin from the Hebrew word that we have in Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created. The word created is the word bara in Hebrew. It means to call forth something from nothing. There was nothing, and he called those elements into existence, and then those elements were organized into everything. So bara means to call forth something from nothing. And then min, the word kind, there in the Hebrew. So they combine those to form the word beramin. Because none of the original ancestors survive today, creationists have been trying to figure out what descendants belong to each beramin or beramin in their varied forms. Beramin is commonly believed to be at the level of family and possibly order for some plants and animals, according to the common classification system of kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. And we'll talk some more about that. But on rare occasions, a kind may be equivalent to the genus or species level. Now, we've introduced the concept of baraminology here. And we're going to just say a little bit more about that. Baraminology is a field of study that attempts to classify fossil and living organisms into baramines. Baraminology is a field of study that attempts to do this. This is done based on many criteria, such as physical characteristics, and now that we know how to sequence DNA, this is shedding a lot of light on this. For living organisms, hybridization is a key criterion. If two animals can produce a hybrid, they are considered to be of the same kind. However, the inability to produce offspring does not necessarily rule out that the animals are of the same kind, since this may be the result of mutations since the fall of man. Zonkies, we mentioned, this is a male zebra bred with a female donkey. Zorses, a male zebra and a female horse. And hebras, a male horse with a female zebra. These are all examples of hybrid animals. Hybrid animals are the result of the mating of two animals of the same kind, and perhaps one of the most popular hybrids of the past has been the mule, the mating of a horse and a donkey. So seeing something like a zorse or a zonkey really shouldn't surprise anyone, since donkeys, zebras, and horses all belong to horse kind. All right, and we are going to leave it there for this time. This is our little check-in video, and we'll return to this discussion next Wednesday. So again, thank you for joining today. I hope that you have enjoyed this little check-in, and please subscribe and support these efforts that we are making here on this channel. I appreciate it. And I'll be seeing you. There'll be another post from the archives put up tomorrow morning and be available for you to look at. All right. Thank you very much. God be with you all. Much love and respect. Bye for now.